This is called Tea Please. By the time I'm diagnosed with Parkinson's, I've been ill for years. My body is pretty much seized up. But once the drugs start to take effect, I begin to come back to life, mixing with people again, going into cafes and shops. I even start going out in the evening. So I'm back, but something's changed. I'm used to being quite shy, more comfortable at a slight distance, observing, a bit of a worrier, introspective. Now, not so much. I find myself talking to strangers in queues, have an opinion on everything which I'm eager to share, and not so keen to spend time on my own. It's like being slightly drunk all the time. I try to feel concerned about these changes, but I can't be bothered. It's difficult to worry about not worrying. And I'm quite enjoying this new version of me. It's like I'm taking a holiday from myself, except I can't go back. It's 2015, and I'm here at Salisbury Arts Centre for an evening with spoken word artist Luke Wright, having a great time, enjoying his craft and his humour. He's interrupted by a heckler who shouts something out which Luke Wright can't hear, so he asks him to repeat it. He sounds muffled, as if he's shouting through a blanket. Luke Wright still can't make out what he's saying, shrugs it off and carries on with his performance. Unfortunately for him and the audience, I fall silent. Oh dear. In my defence, there are extenuating circumstances, and strictly it wasn't a heckle. I wasn't insulting him, just joining in with some additional remarks. But yes, wrong time, wrong place. And who is this person I appear to have become? I've always understood the unwritten rules of audience behaviour and believed in respecting artists and performers. Impulsivity has its downside. I want to apologise, but I'm too embarrassed and slink away. And the shouting through a blanket? I hadn't noticed how much my voice had deteriorated. Yet another symptom of this disease. At least there's something I can do about it. Tea, please. Have you seen my keys? Yes, I have taken my 6 o'clock drugs. Oh, no, I haven't. 3 of the 5 sentences I use most often. My speech and language therapist says I should say them with extra volume and exaggerated pronunciation. I'm disappointed they're so mundane. The others aren't any better. Would you like a cup of tea? I'm just popping out to get some tea bags. Followed by the inevitable, have you seen my keys? I'm more interested in thinking of new lists than in practicing my pronunciation. I come up with things I wish I said most often. Number 1, as a writer, you'll have to speak to my agent. I don't have an agent. And what I would most like to hear, number 1. So it turns out the cure for Parkinson's is to eat lots of cake. I'm sitting next to my therapist with the sound meter in front of us. She's making a sound like this. Ah. And I try to copy her at the same volume. Ah. All my life, people in authority have tried to make me quieter. Now in my 60s, someone employed by the state is encouraging me to be noisy, and I love it. Ah! It's like a howl of anguish and a healing drone in one. I think, just to get a flavour of it, why don't we all try it together? Yeah. Ah! Yes. It's a nice sound, isn't it? It feels good to make it. I envisage it spreading through the hospital, taken up by the patients and the staff and visitors and volunteers, released from their silent suffering to unite in a glorious moment of harmonic release. I start singing again, quietly. It hurts, but then a bit louder and it hurts less. I'm clawing back something I thought I'd lost. I know I'm making progress when this incident occurs. Sunny Salisbury Saturday. Lunch at Café Diwali. Drifting home slowly. A young man moving at greater speed finds his progress momentarily impeded. Insults me as he passes for the crime of being old and sick and walking with a walking stick. Before I ask myself the question, how do I respond to this provocation? To my surprise and his, a burst of curses from my lips assaults the ear of my antagonist. He twists round, hands forming fists, sees the old man with his walking stick, the dozy git, and looks elsewhere for the source of this abuse. And though bashful of the words I've used, I cannot help but be amused, because it's a perfect demonstration of speaking loudly and with clear enunciation. Proof of the effectiveness of speech and language therapists. Luke Wright was back in Salisbury recently at City Hall. I like to think if I'd stood up and shouted, "I'm just popping out to get some tea bags," he would at least have understood what I said. Thank you.